Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. The IAS Mentor is finalizing mentorship program. For further details, please follow the IAS Mentor channel. We are continuing the colonial administration. In the previous class, we have seen how the British administration was changing from 1215 onwards. On the other hand, how the Indian system was moving from Delhi Sultanate period to Mughal time period. With the Battle of Plassey, East India Company, through conspiracy, they replaced Bengal Nawab. With Battle of Buxar, they got even the legitimacy to interfere in the politics of Bengal through Shah Alam II Farman. That system came to be known as dual system of governance. In 1765, Robert Clive, I will show you the image. When it comes to Robert Clive, he is the one who participated in Carnatic Wars also. Through conspiracy, he was instrumental in bringing success to East India Company in Battle of Plassey. Later, he went to England. His ambition is to become member of parliament in England. He wanted to settle there only. When he was in England, meanwhile, developments took place that led to Battle of Buxar. In Battle of Buxar, government East India Company emerged victorious. Company directors sent him once again to go to Bengal and see the administration of Bengal region. When he came back in 1765, he made a treaty with Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II Shah Alam II. He was the one. Now they got legitimacy. Now we have to see the provisions of this. These provisions are going to be important for the examination point of view. Number one, East India Company got Diwani rights for not only Bengal, Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha. Important prelims question, try to remember them. East India Company got Diwani rights for Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha. Second one, Bengal Nawab. Bengal Nawab was given responsibility of Nizamat functions. So two terms are coming here. One is Diwani rights, another one is Nizamat. Prelims point of view, you have to remember them. This was the arrangement given by Mughal Emperor to East India Company. Suppose if Mughal Emperor is very powerful, during the days of Aurangzeb, Akbar time period, how it was there? During the days of powerful empire, say like this. These were how gradually the power is shifting from the hands of Indian rulers to East India Company. Suppose if rulers were very strong, Delhi, Agra. Consider this is a province. Province also called Shubha. From Delhi, two officers are appointed. Two officers for checks and balances, so that a single person checks and balance. So that a single person, suppose if all the powers are rested in single hand, then after some time they may declare independence, they may defy the authority of Delhi. That's why Akbar days onwards, it is clearly designed that this is a Shubha. One officer called Shubedar was appointed. Another officer called Diwan. Two officers. When it comes to Subedar, they maintain law and order. military functions. Military means suppose if they have to expand, they will expand. Military activities. Law and order means police functions, internal law and order. Then criminal justice, maintaining law and order for punishing if someone creates disturbance. Criminal justice. That is with respect to Subedar. Now what about Diwan? Diwan has two functions. One is land revenue collection, and also if there is any problem in land revenue collection, civil related cases, Diwan will take care of civil justice. Now what is happening here? Money is in the hands of one person, but power is in the hands of another person. Money power is in the hands of one person, military power is in the hands of other person. In that way, Shubedar cannot become powerful without revenue, and Diwan will not become powerful without the support of Subedar, because military is in his hands. This is what exactly happened during powerful Mughal emperors. Shubedar answerable to emperor, Diwan is answerable to emperor. They have to coordinate with each other, then only it will flourish. And here checks and balances were managed so that no one will become so powerful they declare independence. Now what happened? This is up to Aurangzeb time period. But in 1707, Aurangzeb died. Later, Murshid Quli Khan, Murshid Quli Khan was appointed as the Subedar. Now Delhi itself is becoming weaker. Conspiracies in Delhi. After Aurangzeb, many rulers changed very frequently. Ministers in Delhi are continuously conspiring, nobles in Delhi continuously conspiring and replacing the emperors also. Now Murshid Quli Khan, now he is not answerable to Delhi because no one knows how many months a new emperor will be there. In that circumstance, Murshid Quli Khan acted as Subedar and also Diwan. In this way, both powers came in the hands of single person. That means almost you are powerful. You need not to answer anyone, and here no one is above you. This is how Murshid Quli Khan created a Bengal as a independent autonomous kingdom. That tradition is going on till Siraj-ud-Dawla. Now what happened? Battle of Plassey took place. Battle of Plassey. Siraj-ud-Dawla was replaced by Mir Jafar. Now Mir Jafar is getting the support of East India Company. Now Mir Jafar also replaced by Mir Qasim, because East India Company was not getting sufficient funds. Mir Jafar was not capable to give as much as East India Company is demanding. When Mir Jafar tried to become autonomous, once again East India Company felt that Mir Jafar is better. Once again conspiracy started to replace Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim went to Nawab of Awadh. Whatever is happening in case of Bengal, same was happening in Awadh also. Awadh the ruler became very powerful. Now even Mughal emperor himself is feeling secure in Awadh rather than in Delhi. That itself shows how strong Awadh, how strong Bengal rather than Delhi. Shah Alam II became in 1760s fugitive. Fugitive means he is hiding in, or he is in the protection of Awadh administrator. Awadh administrator is Shujauddaulah. Awadh Nawab, Shujauddaulah. Whatever I am writing here, everything potential prelims question. That's why I am explaining in detail. Otherwise, I would have finished everything in one video itself. I don't want to do that, because this is a very important. Each and every personality is important. Then only you can connect various dots. Even if it is a mains question, you will write a very good answer. Prelims, you will not miss important things. Shujauddaulah is Awadh. Shah Alam II, Mughal emperor, refugee or fugitive in the court of Shujauddaulah. Now Mir Qasim wanted to get back his kingdom. He went to Awadh and he made an alliance. This alliance led to Battle of Buxar. Battle of Buxar. Buxar is a place in Bihar. But what happened? This alliance crumbled. This alliance collapsed by East India Company. Hector Munro was there. Hector Munro was the military general of East India Company. This person also important. Hector Munro, Battle of Buxar in 1763. This alliance was defeated. Now what happened? Now East India Company wanted to get the revenue department. What is the revenue department? Diwan and Shubedar. Two things are there. Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II is there. Now East India Company don't want this one. East India Company want this one. And East India Company should get permission from whom? Who should appoint East India Company as Diwan? Mughal Emperor. Mughal Emperor is now in their hands because he was defeated. That is where now this kind of equation started. Once again, I am drawing it. In order to understand how Indians got exploited, we have to know in detail about this. How East India Company is entering into politics now. Allahabad is located in Awadh Kingdom. Remaining areas like this. With the Treaty of Allahabad, Shah Alam II was forced to give Diwani rights to East India Company. What is here? Fort William. Remember, another prelims question. Fort William means Calcutta. Fort St. George. This is Madras. These names are also important for the prelims. Calcutta. This is the fort from which East India Company is operating. Their settlements, their goods, everything they handle from this. And Fort St. George, Madras, from there they are managing this and this. So this is Bengal Presidency. In Bengal region, presiding officer, presidency, Madras Presidency. Similarly, here, Bombay. Here there is no such kind of fort, Bombay. Fort William, East India Company. Now, along with East India Company, along with English, there were French people also, Dutch people also, Danish people also. Remember, these people are also there. Now we are talking about 1765. In 1765, here also French people are there. But in 1760, Battle of Vandivash. Connect all the dots. With the Battle of Vandivash, French were completely defeated. Here also they became powerful. Now they got opportunity to get the signature from directly Mughal Emperor only. They have taken Diwani rights and civil justice. Civil justice. Now we are in 1765. With respect to Mir Jafar, Mir Jafar got Nizamat functions. But after him, Nazim, he became the next Nawab. Identify this. Nawab of Bengal and Bihar, 65 to 66. After the death of his father, Mir Jafar died, and after him, his son, Nazimuddin Ali Khan, he became the ruler of Bengal. Now, he got what rights? Nizamat functions. Nizamat functions. But what East India Company has done, Diwani rights, land revenue, they got it. They tried to influence even military also. Nizamat functions means military, police functions, criminal justice. East India Company appointed. He told, I am not that much interested because without money, what I can do? He did not show that much interest in support. To support him, East India Company only appointed Deputy Nawab. Now, Deputy Nawab is answerable to East India Company. Mughal Emperor has given powers to East India Company Diwani and Nizamat functions to Nawab. But Nawab himself told, I am not interested. East India Company appointed Deputy Nawab. Now, what is happening here? East India Company only running Diwani rights. East India Company only running Deputy Nawab. And here also, East India Company created one officer to collect on behalf of East India Company. Now, this officer is also Indian. You see this, how East India Company, without directly involving in politics, with the Indians only, how they exploited. Here also Indian only. Now, East India Company means Robert Clive created a system in such a way that Indians only rule, but Indians are going to rule Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha on behalf of East India Company. Now, why East India Company did not directly enter? This was the question arises. Why they are again dependent on Indians only? Why not East India Company directly? Their officers only start ruling Diwani rights and started functioning as Nizamat. Why they are not considering themselves as the powerful people directly as in Shubedar and Diwan? Because one, if they directly assume the powers, Robert Clive felt that if they directly take this, French, Dutch, Danish people, they were there, other Europeans, there is no guarantee that they are going to follow the guidelines of East India Company. On top of it, if something happens here in Europe, it may create a diplomatic row between France and England, Denmark and England, Holland and England. That's why East India Company or Robert Clive is very clever that he don't want to create that. Suppose if that diplomatic row happened in England, what will happen? The arrangement between East India Company and England government is this one. Crown is there, British cabinet and British parliament, British judiciary. When it comes to crown is not absolute monarch, constitutional monarch. Constitutional monarch, it means parliament is supreme. East India Company is getting permission through charter, through crown as well as parliament. They have this mechanism. Now, there is a mechanism through charter that East India Company will get charter frequently. They can do business in India or in East, anything, and they will pay some permission fees to the government of England. But if because of the activities of East India Company in India create disturbances with the French people, now this government had to handle relationship with France, Denmark and Holland. Now as a result, what happens? It is responsible for this problem and they will involve in the politics. They will involve in the affairs of East India Company. Robert Clive don't want to do that. East India Company want autonomy. Whatever East India Company is doing in India, that should be purely within the hands of East India Company directors. Now you see how the relationship is gradually about to change. Directors want to have this autonomy. They don't want interference from parliament, interference from cabinet or interference from the crown. This wanted autonomy directors. And East India Company is a company, it has its own shareholders. So East India Company always wanted to get maximum profit and they can give dividend to shareholders. They can give better salaries to their people. And if they get any kind of loan, and they can pay the interest on the loan. So their main focus is about the business. They don't want any interference. That's why they don't want to create any kind of rift with these. Because the moment you enter into politics, automatically in England, the moment you enter into political body, politics, then you are going to get attraction from the politics of England. They don't want to do that autonomy. Could you see how the equation is there? Second one, when it comes to this side, we are in 1760s only. In 1760s, still powerful people were Afghans, Ahmad Shah Durrani. In 1761, Third Battle of Panipat took place. Third Battle of Panipat took place. In this, Marathas were defeated. But after 1761 debacle, Marathas were not completely wiped out. Marathas still wanted to prove their power. That's why again continuous conflicts were happening between Marathas and the neighboring kingdoms like Nizam, Mysore and so on. Getting this? Now on the other hand, here Mysore under Hyder Ali. Mysore under Hyder Ali, he is creating or strengthening Mysore. It may create a problem with Carnatic region. So Robert Clive understood all these. The moment East India Company become direct political entity, one is it may attract enmity with fellow European companies. He don't want to do that. That's why he wanted shadows. He wanted puppets, but indirectly he wants to run, but not through direct face. Second angle is the moment they become political power, that means what? They have to protect Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. They have to protect Awadh also, because now Awadh also got defeated. Literally, Awadh region also came under British only. Now, the moment Awadh and Bengal direct protection went into the hands of East India Company, they will not focus on business. Now they have to involve unnecessarily in the continuous conflicts with Afghans and Marathas and Mysore this side. They don't want to do that. Now, do you see the pragmatic approach what they have done? They wanted business, they wanted profits, and anyway their interests are getting served with Deputy Diwan and Deputy Nawab. These people are Indians only, and in that way they maintained the mask of Shah Alam too. They maintained the mask of Nizam, Diwan of Indian Diwan only, and also Indian Nawabs. In this way, Indians only used by East India Company to get the funds whatever they required. Shubedar, Diwan, next Diwani rights they got, Nizamat functions were given officially, but indirectly they took both Diwani rights and Nizamat functions through their own appointees. In this way, in 1765 onwards till 1772, this system was running. They will not worry about whether law and order is there, whether criminal justice is going on properly or not. It doesn't matter. Their only intention is to collect as much revenue as possible. As a result, what happened? Now, to say this, impact of it. East India Company officers on the ground level, through the Indian officers, they collected huge taxes from peasants, and they forced artisans to manufacture whatever East India Company wanted, because now they are powerful people. They got Diwani rights also. Now in their hands, army is there, police functions are there, criminal justice is there, civil justice is there. Now they are forcing with that power artisans also to manufacture whatever East India Company needed for their European markets and other markets. Next one, trade disrupted. Trade disrupted. Now, Indian traders in the disadvantaged position, East India Company trading activities intensified. They completely ruined trading activities also. Everything. Now, peasants have to pay more taxes. Artisans have to go for like forced labor, and Indian traders were displaced. As a result, complete collapse of economy. Because if peasants, artisans and trading is not functioning properly, economy of Bengal is not going to run. As a result, completely it collapsed economy. Now they were not able to pay the taxes. In some of the cases, peasants also they felt they displaced. They felt that they are exploiting and they just moved from one place to the other place. In one of the occasions, artisans were forced to weave the silk. In one of the cases, silk weavers of Bengal cut off their thumb and they showed to the English people that we cannot do. You imagine, as a form of protest they have done, but what about the life of the artisans now? This kind of problem emerged, and tradings also. In the words of Robert Clive only, he told to the British Parliament that because of this dual government, we reduce the Indian traders to beggary. Because now no trading activities, no free and fair game, they were not able to earn anything. Everything earned by East India Company. Now, one issue emerged here. These are East India Company officers, officials. Now, whatever they are collecting, whatever they are doing, whatever benefit they are getting from Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha, they are enjoyed by the East India Company officers and they are not depositing in the East India Company account. So, personally, they became very corrupt and they became very rich. On the other hand, East India Company is not becoming rich. For namesake, now you see this. Everywhere there is no clear-cut control over anyone. Mughal Emperor do not have control over Nawab. Nawab do not have control over East India Company. East India Company directors do not have control over officers. As a result, a complete mess took place in 1770 when Bengal famine took place. Now, who is there to take care of the people? No funds with the hands of Nawab, and Nawab himself is not powerful, and East India Company is nowhere responsible. Now, as a result, what happened? Complete collapsed system took place. One-third of Bengal population perished in this Bengal famine. And this is where now in England, now when officials of East India Company are coming to London with a lot of riches, and they are even influencing the British Parliament also. They are sponsoring some MPs in the elections. They themselves are becoming the MPs. They are enjoying a lavish life, luxurious life. And fellow English people, when they compare with East India Company officials, they are feeling that huge envy. That how East India Company officials are becoming this much rich. What they are really doing in India. This created interest in the press of England that what exactly East India Company doing, what exactly East India Company officials are doing. This created interest in them. They started digging the truth about this and they came to know that East India Company officers are literally looting Indian territories. They are robbing, looting, and with this, they are coming to England and they are enjoying. Even they were mocked mocked on the stages also, in newspapers also. These people were called, the officials were called nabobs, just to mock them that they are behaving like a Nawab of Bengal in England. These officials are nabobs. They used to mock, and they are bringing the Eastern, like the dressing style, the kind of habits, food habits, dressing habits, everything. They are going and they are behaving like Nawabs of Bengal region or Carnatic region. This is the atmosphere in England they created. Now, naturally, it is going to impact parliamentary debates also. Now, parliament and cabinet started taking interest and they started debating what is happening East India Company. Some people even demanded that we should involve in the political affairs of East India Company. We should curtail the affairs of East India Company. But East India Company is so powerful because the riches of the people were so powerful. They have good friends in parliament and they were literally opposing that kind of interference. They were protecting the autonomy of East India Company because they were given monopoly rights. Monopoly rights. According to this charter, no one should touch East India Company. If anyone touch, that means you are not following rule of law. England always praises that they were followers of rule of law. And the moment if you involve here, then means England is not following rule of law. In that way, East India Company trying to protect its autonomy. East India Company directors were very much in control of this. They were appointing the officers, but unfortunately for East India Company itself, their officers were so corrupt. Officers are becoming rich, but East India Company is not becoming rich. They are not able to give shareholders a dividend. They are not able to pay salaries also on time. And anyway, East India Company officials in India are not worried about salaries. They are getting a lot of money outside salary. Now, it is in this context, East India Company one day asked Bank of England, I needed 10 lakh pounds as a loan. Then it created shock. How come officers are this much rich? And why East India Company as a company is applying for the loan? Now, generally, people should feel that it should collapse. East India Company should collapse. Bank of England should not give the loan to East India Company because this much challenges are happening. But Parliament and Cabinet have seen this as an opportunity that we will give the loan provided you listen what we say. Cabinet and Parliament has taken this as an advantage to interfere in East India Company because East India Company itself is giving the opportunity for them that we want a loan. We are not able to pay our shareholders our dividend on time. You pay us loan, then we will honor our commitments. Cabinet told we will give the loan, but you have to listen to us what we are going to say. And East India Company going to say that yes, we are ready. Instead of bankruptcy, instead of filing bankruptcy completely, instead of winding up the operations of East India Company, better to listen to you and we will get the loan. This is the circumstance in which the real entry of Parliament is entering in Indian affairs through a act called Regulating Act. You see the term itself, Regulating Act. Could you see this? This is how Regulating Act comes into play. The moment Regulating Act was passed by the Parliament, gradually, Indian affairs are going to be dictated by Parliament, through Parliament, Cabinet, and indirectly Crown. This is how gradually it is moving Indian politics from Indian rulers into the hands of British Crown through East India Company. Could you see dual governance? Literally during this time period, chaos took place because when it comes to Diwani rights, they are going to collect. East India Company officers will not go and collect. Robert Clive said, even if we have 3 times officers in India, we cannot still administer Indian territories because India is that much rich, that much vast. We cannot do. We have to depend on Indians only. There were Indian zamindars, and through them they were collecting the taxes from peasants. And when it comes to zamindars, they will not pay whatever they are collecting to the peasants from the peasants. In this way, peasants were burdened. Zamindars will take something, on top of it, officers will take something, on top of it, East India Company as a company takes something, completely overburdened. It ruined agriculture, it destroyed artisans, it disrupted trading activities, complete moral degradation took place during this time period. Moral degradation. That means there is no honor in hardworking. There is no reward for the hardworking. Whoever is looting in immoral ways, in unethical practices, they are rich, they are enjoying the life. Whoever is working hard, they are condemned to poor. They are condemned to poverty, whereas who are looting, robbing, who are following unethical practices, they were enjoying the life. Whoever hardworking, they are suffering from the poverty, and they are suffering from diseases. And when famine occurred, and these are the people who died. That is how moral degradation took place, the dual governance. And it affected even Robert Clive also. The corruption charges were framed against Robert Clive only, and many officers faced corruption charges in England. And Robert Clive also could not sustain those kind of charges against him, and one day he committed suicide also. This is the kind of situation or the system, dual governance. And you can understand, if there is no Indian ruler, there is no British king. Here British king also not ruling, Indian kings also not ruling, and East India Company also not in full control. As a result, this happened: chaos, complete disruption, complete moral degradation, famines, lot of death. This is how the dual governance led to lot of deaths in Bengal region. That still haunts. That situation is going to further worsen and worsen continuously. This is just the beginning. Did you see this? This is how dual governance of Bengal operated, in which circumstances it came into picture, and finally what is the impact of dual governance, dual system of government. In this context only, Parliament passed a law called Regulating Act in 1773. All right, I will give you the questions, answer them. Number 1, Treaty of Allahabad. Treaty of Allahabad was signed in which year? In which year? Next, Battle of Buxar took place in which year? Third one, East India Company directly took the administration after Treaty of Allahabad. True or false? True or false? All right. These are the 3 questions. Answer them in the comment box. We will come up with the mentorship details. Please keep following the IAS Mentor channel. Thank you. Thank you very much.